Ladies, gentlemen, gamers, thank you for joining us for the 8th episode of the Super Fun Podcast. Before we actually start, I would like to say thank you. We've had a ton of people in our community and outside of it show us a lot of support and follow us with each episode each week. So I want to thank you. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you enjoy it, please go ahead and thumbs up the video. Leave a comment if you have any feedback for us. We really appreciate it. But enough of that. Let's say hello to our cast. How you doing, Groot?
I'm doing extremely well. How about you, Toast?
I am wonderful. How about you, Ezio?
I'm doing good. So, AP, what games have you been playing recently?
You know, I knew you were going to ask, even before we agreed that you were going to ask in the pre-planning meeting. So, little story. As anyone who's been listening to the podcast knows, Ezio is absolutely obsessed with Dark Souls 3. I hadn't played a single Dark Souls. I did not know anything about it except watching him stream to kind of get an idea of what the game is like aesthetically and functionally. I'm like, this is, it looks really cool. I'm not sure how I feel about the style of gameplay. Not sure if I like the atmosphere. But I was curious. And then one day, Ezio's like, hey, I got a code for Dark Souls 1 if you want it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll give it a try. So for the last 3 days, I have foregone my obsession with Destiny. I have barely logged on to even complete my bounties. I have been sucked into the world of Dark Souls 1, and I am actually, surprisingly, falling in love with it. It is so much fun. And Ezio happened to receive a text he found quite humorous from me earlier today.
It was right in the middle of work, too.
So what did it say?
So, just out of nowhere, and I want to get this 100% correct, so let me pull up my phone. It was...
In all caps, keep in mind.
Yeah, in all caps. What the hell, Ezio? Freaking gargoyles.
Now, if anyone's played Dark Souls 1, you know what, Ezio, you should probably tell the audience a bit about this encounter that I experienced.
Yep. On the rooftop of one of the early areas of the game, the first boss of the game is called the Asylum Demon, and once you get your weapons back, he's pretty easy. The Belfry Gargoyles are we're taking the kitty gloves off, welcome to Dark Souls boss fight. And you start the fight fighting one gargoyle, you kind of whittle his health down, then another one comes in and just says, hey, I'm going to join in too.
Okay, I go in there, and I remember you telling me distinctly, hey, let me know when you get to the gargoyles. And this was a few days ago. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it'll be fun. And then I get on the rooftop. Accidentally, I meant to go find a bonfire so I could save and kind of get the new checkpoint, and I accidentally went through this door, and I'm on the roof, and I see gargoyles, and I'm like, no. Oh, I've got like 8,000 souls on me. I need to go level up. What do I do? So I'm trying to creep around them. I'm thinking maybe if I just go in the middle of the roof, they won't notice me. Nothing will happen. I get halfway across the roof, and it goes to a cutscene. I'm like, no! Crap! Gargoyle comes after me. I'm freaking out. Adrenaline's pumping. But I figure out his movement. I start whittling him down. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. Another one flies up behind me and just overhead smashes me, and it's over. Do you have to fight all of them, or is there just two?
There's just two.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to plan for 8 gargoyles. That was going to be a nightmare.
No, there's just two. There is a giant gargoyle gank with a bunch of them in Dark Souls 2, but it's kind of easy in that one. These two, oh, by the way, they're not going to be gone forever. They actually become a normal enemy later on.
Oh, well, fine then, Dark Souls. Do me dirty like that.
Well, here's the cool thing. If you cut off their tail, then you get a battle axe.
I did get that, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of got that accidentally on the first hit I landed on him. So, that's cool. But
yeah, some of the other bosses do that, so make sure to cut off those tails.
I will do my best. But
Alright,
enough about that.
Yeah, I think it's time to actually get into the episode.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today.
Yep, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the first topic, which I've been waiting for some news on this, and that is that we finally got news on Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
So Groot's excited, and
Oh yeah.
Toast is a bit ambivalent in the matter.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. You gonna learn
Hey,
today.
Toast, why don't you tell us a little about Pokemon, huh?
Give it. What's your favorite one?
Yeah.
I have never played Pokemon before. Don't kill me.
Ooh,
Finally, I'm off the
ooh,
hook for
shot
Castlevania.
through the heart, and you're to blame.
But
All right.
on to the news about this. A few days ago, we got a trailer that not only showed off some of the gameplay, but showed us the 3 starters, the 2 legendaries, and a release date.
That's not all it showed us.
What,
Showed us a
what
lot
else?
more. Showed us a lot
Yeah.
more than that. Were you
Uh,
not paying attention?
I was. It showed us the region and everything. I'm just labeling that
Oh.
under the gameplay.
Okay, so we'll talk about more of my stuff. We'll go based off of the basic stuff that you mentioned. But yeah, we got the 3 starter Pokemon: Rowlet, Litten, and Poplio. Rowlet.
I'm gonna get Rowlet, by the way, that little grass owl, because that thing's adorable as shit.
Yeah,
When
I'm
you're in
still-
battle,
He's
it
like-
has a freaking leaf bow tie, and when it's waiting to be told an
I'm-
attack to do, it turns around like 180 with its head, just like, what do I do?
I am usually going with fire starter, so I'm going with Litten.
I was actually, that was my first impression too, but I noticed something interesting. Rowlet, the little grass owl, is the only one of the 3 starters that has 2 types.
Yep,
Yeah,
a
It's
dual
grass
typing.
and
Grass
flying.
and flying.
That's the okay. I want to point out on that, we haven't had a dual typing starter Pokemon in its first evolution since Bulbasaur of Generation 1.
Yep.
No other starter has been 2 types in its first form.
I'm glad they're bringing it back. Quite honestly, though. I mean,
And I'm kind of happy it's a grass type, because that kind of gives it a little bit more flair.
I mean, quite honestly, like I've never been one to choose like grass type starters, but this actually may make me or let me gravitate towards that.
Mhm.
Litten's like my first, but I don't know. Maybe I want to try.
I
something
think
different.
I think the fact that it's fairly easy to get a grass type usually early on in the Pokemon games
Yeah,
kind of goes toward that, while fire Pokemon are usually saved for like the end game, while water Pokemon you can get semi early to the rest of the game.
You're assuming they're going to follow the same formula.
Well, they usually they follow decent, but here's the thing: from the trailer, we've seen that it seems to be based on Hawaii, so I think it is going to be changed. I feel like the water Pokemon are going to be easy to get early on.
yeah. I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out because it is definitely based off of Hawaii. We've gone from regions inspired by Asia to Paris and stuff like that, and now we've got this new region called Alala or Lola, however you want to say it.
Yeah,
and I'm
I
really
definitely
liking
looking at
this.
Yeah,
I'm liking this style, the volcanoes, the palm trees, stuff like that. It's cool.
I'm gonna
It's-
make a prediction right now. There's gonna be a legendary that we don't know about yet. That's gonna be in a volcano.
I guarantee it too. Yep. Actually, one of my thoughts.
That's my
about that.
prediction right now.
Yep. You want to know something new to that they showed us inside of the call it the trailer. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we got a new camera view as well. We've got a altering camera that kind of
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, I did notice that. I just didn't think about it at
yeah,
the moment.
got an altering camera. So if the 2 of you haven't played Pokemon in a while, it's gonna get some taking used to. I played the most recent stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been playing Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Last one I played was Black, which I enjoyed, but this is actually where my main concern comes in. When they went from 8-bit to more 3-dimensional type Pokemon, I feel like inevitably, and this was going to happen whenever they made that transition, it lost a bit of that just Pokemon world feel. And the problem isn't that they're moving into the future with 3D, but I feel like there's a lot of other games that have already been there and have kind of mastered the art of making a 3D Explorer kind of game. And Pokemon jumped into it, and I feel like they had to make a lot of mistakes and learn. A lot of things in Black, like it was smooth, it worked, but it felt clunky. It felt like they retained too much of the 8-bit while trying to go 3D, that it didn't do a good job on either front. And that's just my personal opinion. Other people probably disagree with me. I just
Did you play X and Y or
No.
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire?
I didn't.
They
Last-
did the 3D really well with that. They did
Okay.
the 3D
Yeah,
pretty well.
I was just about to mention that is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were really stable with the 3-dimensional. I personally
Yeah.
kept it at a very low setting on my 3DS, but there were times like during battles and stuff like that Like when I was going through the.
Groot,
Yeah.
what he's talking about is like 3D and art style, not the actual
Oh,
3D.
okay. So this the 3-dimensional just atmosphere itself and textures. Okay.
Well, actually, I mostly meant the movement. Like
Okay.
like with like the original 8-bit, obviously each block like is the size of your player. You can move each of those blocks around, and I
Yeah.
feel like with at least with Black, the last one that I played, they kept that style. So you move one block over, and it's smooth, and you can't tell that it's blocks. But if there's like an opening, you have to be in that middle block to go through it, as opposed to just like being able to kind of go in at your own movement pattern. And I
Yeah.
didn't really like that. That's something they retained from the old movement style going into the future that I felt made it so you couldn't do the 3D as well. So I'm mostly
So-
talking about movement.
So quick
Yeah,
question.
with Generation 6, you can actually move diagonally. So that
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
Exactly, which is nice. It gives a better overall feel to the texture and the walking
It's-
mechanics and
yeah,
stuff
it
like
still
that.
technically does that kind of block to block type thing,
Yeah.
I guess. But you don't
In a
really
way,
notice it.
in a way, it's not really. I mean, there's not really much of like because you know how you'd have that little bit of a delay when you'd move into the next block. With Omega Ruby, I didn't really notice that whatsoever. Quite honestly, I mean, we're talking 2010 for Pokemon Black, and then 2012 for version 2, and then moving up to 2014, where they moved up the platform to the 3DS onto Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
For
and then
X and
that's
Y.
X and Y. Oh yeah, X and Y. I'm sorry. How did I
Yeah.
miss those? How did I
don't
miss
know.
X and Y?
Don't know.
But there's significant improvements, there, especially in the textures and stuff.
Yeah. There's one thing. I know this isn't gonna happen, and it saddens me that it's not. Who remembers how ball-crushingly hard the original Pokemon games were, and kind of wishes that the newer games would go back to that?
I do.
I do
But that
too.
was also honestly, if anything, it was mostly how they laid out the gym battles, where you go into each battle not having a strong type against the leader. Like Gym 1, Brock, like rock type Pokemon. No matter like unless you picked the leaf type Pokemon or I guess the water. Maybe
Yeah, if you
maybe
pick
that's-
Squirtle or Bulbasaur,
But
which would've been fine.
I always pick Charmander, so that's my
If you
experience.
pick Charmander was the hard mode because
Yeah.
he's weak to the first two gyms.
Yep. Which is what I did, and let me tell you, I absolutely hated going against frickin' Brock.
I'm gonna miss something. On my first playthrough, I actually picked Bulbasaur.
Really
Yep.
interesting.
I'm not against it. I mean,
I'm not against it either.
Venusaur is
Bulbasaur is
a
awesome.
beast.
I've just always gone with fire type. I don't know, something
Later
about it.
later on, I did like switch over to Charizard and everything, but yeah, all the Generation 1 starters were great. You always had hard choice with those three.
Yeah, can I
Yeah.
just throw this out there? And this is something I have no solution for, but it's one of the reasons why I've kind of been disappointed with the Pokemon franchise especially after Red and Blue, and then even Yellow. I like Silver and Gold, but I feel like no other starters feel as awesome as the original three. Having like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, those three at maxed out power are the coolest three Pokemon in my opinion. Like in terms of like accessible to everyone, no other starter Pokemon in its final evolution has been as cool in any of the iterations that I've played.
I don't know about that.
I want to say that Gen 6 Greninja is pretty damn cool.
Greninja.
Eh,
Is he a ninja that throws grenades?
If only.
Is he a green
He's
ninja?
he's the final evolution of the water starter. He goes up to water dark.
Okay.
The fire type's pretty cool too because instead of the three past generations that did fire fighting, it actually reversed it, and the one from Generation 6 goes into fire psychic.
I guess a lot of my concerns could be alleviated if I wasn't a grumpy old man saying, "When I was your age and I played Pokemon."
You are Gen 1 nerd.
quite honestly, one of my favorite starters was probably Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
Believe it
I
or
like-
not.
What was my... I'm trying to remember... Turtwig from Generation 4 was one of my favorite, because Torterra is just a
Mhm.
beast.
I will agree.
All right, but let's get back on track so we don't spend too much
Yeah,
time
let's
on
go back to
Pokemon.
Sun and Moon of
Yeah.
what we think. How do you guys like the starters?
I'm kind of It's sketchy. I don't know. They're not as cool looking as they normally are, quite honestly.
I
Looks won
yeah,
me over.
I like the owl.
Yeah, the owl's cool.
I perfectly 100% like the grass owl with the bow tie. I'm perfectly happy with that one. The cat is a little generic. I'm
Freaking
gonna wait.
awesome.
It's generic. I don't know how I
I'm
feel
gonna
about it.
wait. I'm gonna wait until and the water type. It looks kind of cool. It's a sea lion.
Yeah.
But with those two, I'm gonna wait and see the final evolutions before I fully judge them.
It's
Same with Rowlet.
Papaleo is actually a clown sea lion. He has a big red nose. Just want to point that out.
That should be funny.
I think the cat's going to look pretty dope in its final evolution. That's it. Like,
I think a lot of people have called it, but that it'll probably turn fire dark.
There was a video that I was watching earlier actually that some guy spectated on the trailer, the Japanese trailer, that he noticed the final evolutions of the starters. I'll have to send you guys the videos later for that.
Yeah.
It was a pretty interesting watch, quite honestly.
Yeah,
Big
send
deal.
it before they take it down.
Yeah. Well,
well,
he's a pretty popular YouTuber, so I don't think his video will get taken down.
Okay.
well, I'm sure there's more we could dig into and speculate. However, there's going to be time for that in future episodes, especially as more is revealed. We should probably move on to our next.
I need to mention one more thing. Just one more thing.
Okay.
The Pokemon Bank is coming back. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, we knew that was coming back because we can transfer over our Pokemon from red,
Omega.
blue, and yellow.
What?
Yep. Exactly.
What?
If you buy red, blue, or yellow from the 3DS store, and you can transfer those Pokemon onto the Pokebank, and when you get Sun and Moon, you can transfer those Pokemon into Sun and Moon.
Awesome, isn't it? AP?
Guys, I can't afford this. Now I have to buy a 3DS. I'm trying to get a blue microphone. I'm gonna get an Oculus Rift. Guys, you're bleeding me dry here.
Don't worry about it. Just wait until November when the game comes out, and then you can get it.
Don't get an Oculus Rift yet. It's $600 and it's not many games.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna wait until probably the second iteration of it. I'm just saying. I'm getting one eventually.
Yeah, same
Alright,
here.
well,
Okay, well, this
Let's
isn't the
move.
Oculus Rift episode. Let's
let's
go
move on.
Let's move on to the game that currently has one of the most liked trailers and it's only been out for a week. That being Battlefield 1.
As opposed to its counterpart, which shall not
Well,
be
we'll
named.
get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. We have a lot of ammo on that one, but let's talk about the good one now.
Battlefield.
Battlefield 1.
One.
Big old
I'm
number.
gonna go. I want to start with this. When I heard that there was gonna be a new Battlefield, I immediately thought, another one, because the last
Another
one that I enjoyed was Bad Company 2 on the Xbox 360. But when I saw the trailer and I saw that it was going to a World War I theme, I immediately was like, okay, you have my intrigue. I'll keep my eye on you.
Yeah, I never really played Battlefield seriously, or really at all, because it's so much harder than Call of Duty to me anyway. But I saw this trailer, and it really caught my interest more than any of the other ones have.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love World War One? We never really,
And
we haven't
It's
really had something like this before.
yeah.
You know?
Something that really caught my interest too was, you guys remember the scene where there's someone riding a horse?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pretty sure it's a girl, which
Yep.
is kind of interesting. And people are speculating that she's from a local Arabic tribe or whatever, when they rebelled against the Ottoman Empire or whatever during the whole war, which I thought was interesting. And it makes me wonder too, are we going to be switching to her perspective maybe in the campaign from a US soldier or what? So I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool if we got to switch perspectives like they do in Call of Duty.
Don't mention that name in our presence.
Sorry.
Don't.
The early games did it good. The early
The
games
game
did it
that
right.
must not be named.
The early games did it right. The later games screwed it up.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you want a good?
Only
You
the early Call of Duty games did the switching perspectives. I don't remember the recent ones doing
If
that.
you want a good switching perspective game, go to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand
But
Theft Auto.
that's another conversation for another
yeah, we're
time.
not getting into that. Let's reel it back to Battlefield.
But yeah, so what are our confirmed locations so far? Was Arabia, the Western Front, and the Italian Alps, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So pretty cool. We've got battles. They're gonna. We've obviously saw land, air, and sea battles inside of the
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
trailer.
it's
So
gonna
that
be
was pretty cool.
awesome.
I'm pretty excited about that. We've got freaking biplanes with rear seat mounted machine guns. That seems freaking
Nice.
awesome.
Can you imagine multiplayer just like cruising around with your
I
buddies
can't.
in a plane, just
I
like gunning
can't
people down? Oh
wait.
my gosh.
I
Uh,
cannot wait for this multiplayer
I
for
can't
this
either.
one because it's gonna be awesome.
Here's another interesting part too. Is Dice has confirmed that there's a new hand-to-hand combat system to accommodate
What?
like the strong focus on
Yes,
melee
I've heard
combat.
about that.
Because here's the thing, it's World War One. It's all trenches, so there was a lot of charging with bayonets and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and
Yep.
sabers, and trench clubs and
Didn't
shovels and stuff
didn't
like
they say
that.
that most guns in that game will be able to have a bayonet?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be heavily melee focused, which I'm okay with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean,
So, AP, you haven't said anything on this. You got any thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. You guys were so fluently stringing thoughts together. I didn't want to interject. I actually think this is my biggest observation. Based on the environment of Call of Duty and Battlefield over the last 5 or so years, I think that this is the most perfect, pivotal, game-changing time for this to happen. Because we're at a point where people are getting so tired of Call of Duty games as a whole, and especially kind of the direction they've taken it, the aggressive marketing, that it's evidenced by the we're talking about the most liked trailer in Battlefield 1 and then the universally hated trailer of Infinite Warfare. And for me personally, Call of Duty has always felt more like an arcade shooter, whereas Battlefield has felt more like a well-rounded team-based game that's just much more deep and rich. And it just hasn't gotten the love it deserves in terms of the fan base. Now, in this point in time, people are the sickest of Call of Duty they've ever been, and Battlefield's coming back with a concept so refined and revolutionary that I think that this might be what tips the scales to where Battlefield kind of becomes the go-to first-person war-style shooter.
Yeah. Plus, people have been asking for like a World at War remake or for Call of Duty to go back to how it used to be before it started going futuristic. And DICE is listening to the Call of Duty fans more than every one of the Call of Duty developers.
I agree. I mean, and here's a a deterrent for Black Ops 3 right now too. It's the microtransactions that are included in it. I mean, we don't see heavy
Oh man.
heavy freaking microtransactions in any Battlefield games, but Black Ops 3 rolls around and leave it to Activision to do something like that. I mean, that deters fans too.
I mean, the Battlefield games, from what I remember, they do have a DLC option where you can buy and like fast to get all the level up guns, or
Yeah.
you could just play the game, and most people just play the game.
Yep.
And I respect that, actually.
I do too. I think,
Mhm.
I mean, it's different because we've talked about microtransactions and Destiny and stuff like that in the past, but I think in a game like Battlefield, it's different. Their instance of microtransactions, it's a different kind of game.
And the thing about that kind of a situation, it's
Yep.
really, it's like all or nothing. It's like, look, do you want to enjoy the grind or do you want to enjoy the final form of the game? Whereas
Exactly.
with Call of Duty, it's all about the lottery. It's all about keeping you hooked indefinitely, trying to get you to buy more and more and more.
It's RNG versus leveling up for your guns.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to. I think Dice has always provided a very stable and balanced microtransactions versus actually, enjoying the grind. So
Yeah,
I
like
can
for
respect them
example,
for that.
when back in Bad Company 1, not 2, my bad. I played the recon class with the sniper a lot that I was able to upgrade it all. But then I started having enjoyment with the support class, but I didn't have as much time to play, so I did buy the support weapon bundle and everything. It wasn't that much, honestly. I think it was like $8 at the time, but that was when DLCs weren't that expensive.
Oh, the
Um,
glory days.
Yeah, the glory days. When you could buy it, let your friend borrow your account, and download it for free. And then they patched that. I feel like me and my friends were the reason for that. Anyway,
I've
Single-handedly.
actually got a good story about it. What really got me into Battlefield one time was I was actually at a friend's house, and he was playing Bad Company 2. And I was like, okay, wow, this seems pretty interesting. So I was like, hey, dude, can I play? And it was my first time. And like, I got hooked from that moment because I was using what was it, the M24, I think it was, which was the first recon sniper that you would unlock for the recon class. And I just went 22-0 my first time ever playing Battlefield Bad Company 2. I was like, this game is amazing. I have to lead my targets. This game
Yeah.
is just awesome. That just got it for me. Like that's what I enjoy about the Battlefield series is it's realistic, and that's what I enjoy about games, and that's something that Call of Duty, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward failed to provide me. So yeah,
Yep.
I like how there was a video that Queen Toast shared with us to kind of help us get some more background on the historicity of Battlefield 1, how it's going to be. And the analysis of
Is
it,
that a word?
historicity, yeah,
historicity is a word. Yep.
indubitably. And like the historicity of it's actually really well done. There are some inconsistencies, but given that this is a game and not a documentary, the fact that they did get so like they marked so high on the standards for being historically accurate, that's going to make for not only a really fun game, but a game that doesn't kind of break the fourth wall and take you out of there's a term for it that's a willing suspension of disbelief. So you know you're playing a video game, you're not actually in the war, but when things happen that you're like, wait a minute, that's not how it was. It rips you out of that presence in the moment. And I feel like the fact they're going so focused on doing this historically as accurate as they can realistically, I think that's going to make for a really cool experience on top of it being an amazing environment to play in.
I agree with you too. All I'm saying is if they bring the Zeppelin game in some
Ooh.
form, if you're able to command one of those,
Weapon.
all I
Oh,
have to say
man.
is I'm gonna get giddy like a schoolgirl. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna make your typical laugh.
Okay.
I just want to assault one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
But before we move on to the next subject, I want to say one thing. And Dice, I hope you're listening. You're probably not, but I hope you are. You've caught a lot of people's interest again. Please, please do not fuck this up.
not pull a division, please. Don't.
Do not screw this up. EA, stay out of it.
Yeah.
EA,
Yeah.
don't. No, stop. I know you're already doing it. Stop.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you
Stop
make my
it,
life.
bad dog.
Yeah,
Dice, you have You're the potential of this game.
yeah, you make my life
Don't fuck it
miserable
up.
at NHL 16 with the possibility of ice tilt. You may deny it, but it's there. Don't mess with anything.
Land it in, guys. Pull it in. It's okay. Take a deep
All
breath.
right. Now,
Content.
we just talked about the game with one of the most liked trailers of all time. Now let's talk about the game that's whose trailer is currently the fourth most disliked trailer of all time on YouTube. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
By the way, as an editing note, every time we say Infinite Warfare, I'm just going to add a boop censor.
Wonderful.
It is officially a curse word in this household.
That is a good point. So,
Hate this game.
Well, okay,
oh
I
let's-
did
my
a song
God.
about it. Do you guys
Look,
want me to sing it?
no,
Not
please,
yet.
no.
Not yet. Not yet. We'll
Save
let
it,
you end
save it
with
for the
No,
bloopers.
go.
We'll end with it. Don't worry.
I
But
mean- There's a lot of people talking about this. A lot of people are aware of the fact that it's the most hated in modern relevancy. Let's talk a little bit about why. Why are people so up in arms about this? No pun intended.
I think there's two reasons. One, everyone is bloody sick of the future setting that Call of Duty's been having for the past how many games? Like 4 or 5?
I think
They
just
are
three.
Yeah, pretty much.
sick to death of that. They want it to actually be how Call of Duty used to be when it was good.
Yeah, good
And the
luck.
second reason that I'm betting everyone is absolutely furious with is the fact that you can't get Call of Duty 4 Remaster unless you buy the $80 version of the new one, Infinite Warfare.
All I'm gonna say is Activision, screw you. I am so fed up with because I used to be a huge Call of Duty player. That's all I used to play. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and World at War are all I used to own.
Yes.
Now we had this spike of hope that Infinite Warfare would be kind of set at the gameplay and style that Call of Duty 4 would have, but they finally confirmed it, saying that, oh no, we're not removing the jump packs or anything like that. And I'm just like, stop, no more reading.
I feel like Call of Duty is finally getting to that point where it's kind of on its way out, and they're trying their damnedest to not become one of those joke companies, even though they already are.
Speaking on that note, I don't really care about the futuristic stuff because we got Battlefield 1 coming out. So if I want to scratch the itch there, I can do that. The thing that honestly just kind of made me immediately roll my eyes was the marketing for it. Because Nuketown, everyone's favorite map, based on the numbers, they had, like, how there's that screen up against kind of the back wall by the buses where just like
Yeah.
stuff goes by. Well, they started playing the trailer on the map up on those screens to kind of like get people's attention, and then they released the trailer, which doesn't really tell you anything about the game. It's like, let me put it this way. This would have been a really, really cool marketing tool if this was like 5 Call of Duty games ago. But we're all very aware that essentially they're just kind of milking us at this point, trying to just pump out as many games as possible, just screw us over with microtransactions. That at this point, it's like I see that advertising and I'm like, you're at it again. I'm not giving you my money one more time. Stop it.
I don't know. I see it going downhill from here. I mean, and the dislikes is to prove it. I mean, do I think that it's going to sell horribly? No, because it's a Call of Duty game.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who's gonna buy it just because it has a name Call of Duty. They're not gonna give a damn how the game actually is.
Yep.
They're gonna buy it just because it has the name Call of Duty.
I'm just done with the movement system. That's really and just the movement system. I hate the movement system. Did I tell you guys I hate the movement system?
Groot, how do you feel about the
You
movement
hate
system?
what?
The movement system. I really hate it. It's stupid. Wall jumps, double jumps.
I think if we had a break from it, like let's say Infinite Warfare didn't come out for 5 years. We had 5 years to stop playing Call of Duty, play Battlefield, get back to the roots. I think that going into Infinite Warfare after a long break, it would be new, it would be different. We'd be used to more ground-based mechanics. It would be something interesting and different. The problem is it's been the last few Call of Duties, and it's compiling with the fact that we're already sick of Call of Duty. I don't know, man. I think it's the timing.
Call of Duty needs a break.
I think
Ubisoft. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to get this thought out. Ubisoft, since they're taking a break from Assassin's Creed for a year, so they can kind of regroup it on it. That's a good idea because the last couple of Assassin's Creed games have been pretty subpar, honestly.
It won't do it. It's a big name title.
Yeah,
the biggest.
But they're taking a break so that they can hone the development of it. Call of Duty, take a break, please.
Groot, they might actually, if sales start dipping bad enough. Anything could happen.
I don't think it will, quite honestly. I don't think
there's too many people.
There's too many people. Exactly. And you have to think of it this way. It's not just the demand just for the general public or the majority of the people. It's the minority that are really going to be tended to on that because of the professional gaming aspect of it. There's so many different professional plans and tournaments and stuff like that. A year without Call of Duty would be a year without some tournaments for a new game, and that's publicity right there for not only for the game and the developer, but for who runs the tournaments as well. I mean, they both of them make money from that kind of stuff. So we will not see, in my opinion, we will not see a break from Call of Duty.
I hate when a game panders to to something like that, to the competitive scene.
Yeah.
Because Halo 5, I felt kind of did that, and that's why we didn't get split screen.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, okay, split screen's going to be the next one. Don't worry, guys. We'll bring it back. Please don't hate us.
Yeah, I mean...
But Call of Duty, they don't give a damn. They're nope, don't care. Rain and money, don't care.
I'm going to talk, fair warning, I'm going to talk about the movement system again. Titanfall introduced this movement system, wall running, stuff like that. Titanfall did a really good job of it for the 2 months that it lasted and was entertaining before it got old. And then they were like, "Hey, this seems really interesting. Let's add
By
this
the way,
into
I
our
want to
game."
cut in for a second and say that Titanfall 2 is actually a thing.
Yes, it is. That is very true. But and then they were like, let's add this into our game and see how it does." First game, sure, it was interesting. And then the next freaking 3 or 4, it just over and over and over again, and it's like, no. If I want to do this, I'm gonna go back and play Titanfall.
Yeah, I'll go play Titanfall. I'll re-download it and play that because
Exactly.
they did it. They not only did it first, they did
They
it better.
perfected it. Yeah, they perfected it, in my opinion. They did it amazingly well. That the multiplayer on that game was pretty unreal. It's just it lost its touch after a while because there was no real
Yeah,
story.
I
to
hope
kind of-
Titanfall 2 does better.
I really hope it is. They are adding a campaign into it and a story, so that'll be cool. So
I want to
All
say
right,
one more
so-
thing about
yeah, go
Call of
for it.
Duty. And I agree with you guys. The competitive thing is there. There's the fact that people are still buying it, and a lot of people are going to continue to buy it. But the fact is, popularity and public opinion about Call of Duty and Activision has been going down progressively in the last few iterations. Now, one thing that nobody expected, and this is a reference to something we talked about a few episodes ago, is Nostalrius. It's Blizzard saying they will not have legacy servers. And over the last few expansions, population has been going down, 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 and down. And finally, with this huge surge of popularity around this one private vanilla server, they finally agreed, once they got a petition signed by almost 300,000 people, to meet. Blizzard has met with the people from Nostalrius. That's something that might now actually happen when it was said to be impossible for years. So I'm just saying, if enough people stop buying into Call of Duty, the game could actually, Activision, because money rules, may actually make a decision in favor of the gamer as opposed to their wallets. Well, it'll still be in favor of their wallets, but the gamer...
They're not going to. I guarantee they're not going to.
Activision doesn't care. This is, and I'm going to quote their CEO right now, word for word. "Secondly, of course, we know there are people in our community who are nostalgic for the boots on the ground style gameplay. That's why we made Modern Warfare Remastered. But we also have millions of people in our community who want to have a new, innovative experience of the game each year, and Infinite Warfare is going to deliver that. The good news is this year we found a way to deliver both in one package while keeping our community together." And then, unquote, "Yeah, you threw in an $80 package and didn't sell it separately, so you're forcing people to get both games. Yeah, good job listening to the community, my butt."
Dude, I feel you. I'm not disagreeing. All I'm saying is, if demand dips low enough, they will change their policies because, it is about the money. And if they stop getting their quotas met by the demand of the game, they will change future iterations of the game to appeal to that demand. That's all I'm saying. But it does depend on the entire gaming community banding together and collectively flipping off Call of Duty, which is starting to happen with Infinite Warfare's ratings so far.
Oh yeah, big time.
The only good thing is hopefully that means that's 2 million copies that's not going to be sold.
Doubt it. It'll probably be around there.
We'll see.
Everybody wants Call of Duty Remastered.
Everyone wanted that Call of Duty 4 remaster, and when we heard it was a thing, we were like, okay, we'll buy that. You'll get our money this time. You have to buy Infinite Warfare, and you just lost me.
That's the genius of it. People will buy it they'll say, I will never get Infinite Warfare. Call of Duty Remastered. Okay, fine.
Well, this is what people are going to be like me, where they find out if you have to actually get the game disc, or if it's given to you through an outside code. Because it's like, okay, if you get it through a code, it's like, okay, great. I'd like to return this, please. But if they put it in the damn box, which they're probably going to, because they know people are going to do this, then, yeah, we're screwed.
Well, guess we'll just have to find out. But for now, I think it's time to move on to Halo 5. Got some new stuff coming.
Yeah, we do. It's already been here.
It's already here.
Oh, when did it come out? I haven't been playing Halo, so...
A couple days ago.
Oh, snap!
2 or 3 days ago. You know?
AP was busy with Dark Souls.
Have been... I haven't even seen you online. You've been appearing offline.
I have been appearing offline, so I can be unbothered as I venture into Dark Souls.
Mr.
He wants to
Storyline
be
over
in
here.
Lodran without being disturbed.
Dude, it's a thing, man. It gets you. Anyways,
Anyway,
Halo.
Halo 5. Anyways, Halo 5.
So we got a couple new things in the Memories of Reach update. We've got the long and awaited Infection game mode, which is amazing because it's not only just in
Yes.
custom games, it's in the multiplayer playlist. So you can
Nice.
join public lobbies. Played a little bit of it last night to try it out with Toast over here, and oh my god, it was just brought back so much nostalgia from Halo 3, quite honestly.
Yeah, I haven't been able to play it yet, or well, I just haven't played it yet. But I saw Mr. Fruit streaming it with Blue, and yeah, it looked pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I mean, it's obviously if you're infected, it's still hard to get kills. The one map that we played on was kind of it was hard to kill people because there was a lot of camping places that you can sit into and just
Yeah.
spawn kill, which was kind of yeah, but I'm sure they'll work that out.
It
and
kind of
stuff like that.
forces you to, use teamwork with the other infected though, which I kind of like.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
it's which is nice. I mean, you gotta. I mean, if you're in a party with two people, it's kind of hard to form a strategy on that. But if you're in a
Well,
party
yeah.
with like 4 or 5 people, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing that really impresses me about this, and this is not new to Halo or to 343, but that's kind of the point, is they've taken community-made creations. The original Zombies playlist was started in Halo 2, and people started playing this game type. Somebody had the idea to do it, and it caught on, started spreading in the community, and by the time Halo 3 came around, they actually made it into a game type. Same thing with Griffball. Somebody created it, they made it available to everyone. And that's so cool. That's something that, if hate to hit the bang the Destiny drum, but if Bungie were to make custom lobbies and custom games for Destiny, the amount of stuff that community would create would blow their minds. And I really hope that comes with Destiny 2, but that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
I just
I don't
really
know.
like that about 343 and what they're doing with Halo.
Imagine a Forge mode in Destiny. That'd be so
Oh my
weird.
gosh.
That'd be so strange, yet so
That
cool
would
at the
be.
same time. I think it'd be cool if they implemented it. Not going to probably happen, of course, but custom games, I completely. You know, everybody.
Okay,
if-
we can go on. We can beat that dead horse.
Yeah, if anybody's ever listened to any of our previous podcasts, they know how much we want custom
Yeah,
games. I think that
Yeah,
speaks on
even
the whole.
and the fact that even if we didn't plan on talking about Destiny, we're gonna wind up talking about Destiny.
Again, yeah. So we got a couple other things too in this update. New map called Stasis, and they added a really cool feature that I noticed last night called the matchmaking preference options. You can either select balanced, focused, or expanded, which is pretty cool. I haven't really tested those yet, but they seem like a pretty good thing for the community to kind of get what kind of game type that you want to be in. So pretty
Okay.
neat.
That's
Um,
nice.
They added a couple of post-game carnage stuff on your reports, and then they fixed a bunch of bugs and stuff like that too, and added some stuff to different areas. I haven't really looked into that though, but
Yeah, they added super bouncing back.
God,
If only.
but if only. But yeah, I mean, it's been from what I've seen and I've played so far, it's been a very interesting style of update. And it's pretty cool. I like that nostalgia to it. I also tried Forge mode last night for the first time on Halo 5, and I was completely confused because I didn't know what I was doing. There were too
Oh,
many
yeah.
options. And apparently, you can change the depth of things and stuff like that. I couldn't figure out how to move stuff. So,
Then we just
thought I'd
ended
point
up
that out.
killing each other for
Yeah, that was
10
fun. I
minutes.
ended up taking my Spartan laser out on you and blowing you to shreds. I also killed
Yeah.
myself at the same time. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good memories.
Curveball. After the podcast, you guys want to play some Halo?
Sure.
Yeah,
For it.
maybe.
I just gotta go grab something to eat after this, but yeah.
Yeah,
and Game of Thrones is on. So
Yeah,
well,
baby,
see.
I'm sorry.
right, well, you can nurse that
is
addiction
on?
later, but-
I couldn't tell with the 5 times you guys mentioned it before we started recording.
Hey, it's our Dark Souls, okay? Don't judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Why don't you
Ezio.
guys watch
Dark-
it?
Touche.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly. Ezio, if you like Dark Souls, you'll like Game of Thrones. Just saying.
I'm gonna flip that on you as well, and if you like Game of Thrones, you're gonna like Dark Souls.
Okay. You know what? Fine. I'll try Dark Souls if you try GOT,
Got? Did you
Yeah,
really
got.
did you really just turn Game of Thrones into an acronym?
that's what people
That's
refer to it as.
yeah,
Seriously?
That's what people
Yes.
refer
yeah.
to it?
That's just coming out of your mouth, Groot. It
You
sounds so weird.
uncultured swine.
I'm sorry, man.
So uncivilized.
I had this strangling impulse to kick through my computer into your testicles over in where you live. I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
That's fine.
So next thing.
Next
So
one.
finishing with Halo, I want to say I love the art style, and that's partially like I'd love to check that out after the podcast because it sounds fun, and
Yep.
because in the trailer, man, it they took the game type and actually made it have its own atmosphere, and I thought that was really cool.
Yep.
So anything else on Halo?
Nope.
Nope, don't think so.
Can't think of nothing.
All right, then it's time to move on to something both very cool and very thought-provoking in a possibly not awesome way, but we'll see. That's the Assassin's Creed movie trailer.
You.
I've got a couple things
Yes.
to say about this.
I
First
did too.
off, I'm gonna go ahead and point out some of the things that's in the trailer, and that is that the movie is not based on any of the current games, and by that I mean it's not following the characters we know. It's following a new assassin and a new. I'm kind of still hoping that they kind of throw the modern day stuff out the window, but not so. I can't
Yeah.
remember the real life guy's name, or the assassin's name. I can't remember them. I've only seen the trailer once, but it looks
Yeah.
really cool. It takes place in Spain during the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. I am gonna question the choice of music.
You know, that was going to be my introductory point. In my notes for what I was going to say, I lead this game off with freaking Kanye, man. Freaking Kanye. But
I didn't
this
have
is
those notes, so
this is what they do. They did it with The Taken King when they had AC/DC playing. As you know,
ACDC is good though.
It is good,
AC/DC is
but
good.
that's not the point. The point is they play something that does not in any way capture the actual atmosphere of the game intentionally to try and hook in people that are like they recognize the pop culture. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like that song," and then they'll be more likely to buy the game.
I don't know
Well, the
though.
thing I
don't-
want to point out something real fast with the ACDC and the Destiny thing. It okay, yeah, you can say it doesn't fit, but it kind of just felt right.
For the trailer, but the trailer didn't accurately reflect the game. Is my point. It's just a marketing trick to get it to make it more accessible to people who are not gonna like. Because if you're not somebody who's ever played Destiny before and you're not that much of a gamer, and I'm trying to sell you the game, I can't just take you into Kingsfall and be like, see, look at there's the lore and there's the sisters and you gotta no like you want to hook people in on their level, which is okay, but I just don't like that. Like Kanye for Assassin's Creed,
Exactly.
Okay, so I will agree with you on that. I will completely agree with you on that because that's pop culture. Okay, that is modernized music right there for you. It drags people in. A lot of people, no matter how much people will talk crap about Kanye, they'll enjoy his music for some odd reason.
so that's level 1. Tell
that's
us about
level
level 2.
Level 2. Okay, so I'm going to disagree with you on the Taken King about AC/DC because that man is not. I mean, they still play to this day, but they're an older man.
You're,
I mean,
you're still missing my point, but that's okay.
I don't know.
I love the song. I love AC/DC. It just
creates
didn't
a good
represent
atmosphere
Destiny.
for Destiny. It creates a good atmosphere.
It doesn't
It does.
create Destiny. It doesn't recreate Destiny's atmosphere. That's all I'm saying.
Destiny, I've always felt has a laid back atmosphere, and that song just felt like it.
Well, back to Kanye.
Can we not talk about
I don't
Kanye
know.
West
I
either?
mean,
Let's just
I
talk about the
thought-
better songs.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
fine.
sorry, Queen. You go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't really listen to Kanye, but that song in particular, I think, kind of gave the trailer kind of a badass feel, which I thought was cool. I mean, I think it. I don't know if whatever music existed during the Spanish Inquisition would have fit better.
Literally
But
just a
no,
random chords from a Spanish guitar. I felt would have been better.
But that would have been kind of weird. I don't know. I'm ambivalent. But
Well, the thing is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the problem I have is, if you haven't been able to tell from my gamer tag, my username, everything, I'm pretty big on the Assassin's Creed series. Assassin's Creed to me has always felt like it's had its sort of music defined. Like
Well, yeah.
throughout the
Look,
whole
if they
series,
had
it kind of sticks to the same tempo. Even this from the trailers, like maybe they'll use some other artists' work, but it always seems to fit with the world. But this song doesn't seem to correlate at all with the series, the movie, or
Yeah,
anything
the
at bloody
difference
all.
the
That's
difference
why I hate that song.
the difference is though they're not trying to pull in Assassin's Creed fans. Those people are already going to watch the movie no matter what. They're trying to pull in people who have never even heard of Assassin's Creed and just want a cool kick-ass movie about
That's a good
some
point.
guys jumping over rooftops and killing people.
That is a good
And I'm,
point.
I'm hoping it does have a good plot and is actually a good movie in its own right. But when does
Here's
that ever happen with games?
I've been looking up
Oh,
some
well-
things. People have actually said they might not see it just because of how they did the trailer.
well, okay. This is people frustrate me when they say, "Oh, you know what? Just because the trailer has this,
Yeah,
just such
exactly.
music in
I
it,
don't-
it doesn't.
I gotta
It's
say-
the content. Here's the thing
Yeah.
about the trailer. It does not reveal anything about the plot whatsoever. It reveals the fighting mechanics and the just the overall non CGI that they added into this. I was reading up. They literally the reason why they have the camera so far out in the parkour scenes jumping from roof to roof is because that's all real. That's actually people jumping from roof
Which
to roof.
is so freaking cool.
It is. It's different. It's cool, and and they want you to see everything, and that's why they have the camera panned out so far, is so
Yeah.
you see everything to show you that it's realistic.
Yeah.
They haven't introduced CGI yet. They have been thinking about it, but they probably won't.
Please no.
But that's-
That ruined Lord of the Rings
But
/
that's-
The Hobbit.
That's the thing. Screw Kanye being in it. If you don't want to listen to Kanye being in it, they've got a trailer out there that they remove Kanye and add another song into it. Go watch that. Quit your
Yeah.
complaining. But if you really want to see this movie, go watch the movie. Don't let Kanye ruin it for you. Kanye ruins
Like-
everything.
Don't
Yeah,
let
I was
Kanye
trying
ruin
to
your
say
life.
I'm definitely gonna go see the movie. The people who say I'm not gonna see it, that's bad. But I can. It's confusing.
Yeah. Well,
I don't-
let's move on to like the content
Yeah.
in the
let's-
trailer.
Can I say
instead
one
of
more
Kanye.
thing about the
Yeah.
music that's not Kanye related before we move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
It just occurred to me. You know what would have been perfect for that, like the trailer music video?
What?
They should have hired the team that did the music for The Witcher 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Good point.
That
would have been perfect.
been perfect and epic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the story, though, are you guys worried it's going to be all action with not enough story?
No.
No,
No.
not at all.
If they stick to how like the stories of the games were, then no, I'm not worried.
That's
No.
the real question. Can you name me one movie that's been adapted from a game that did the story right?
There actually was one. I'm trying to recall it.
Can't think of one, but I've got faith in this one, quite honestly.
I know I've seen one, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
The fact that they haven't added CGI into it yet tells me that this is going to be
Yeah.
significantly well. This director knows what he's doing.
I thought the modern day plot was kind of interesting. She said basically they faked his death, or he's supposed to be dead,
Yeah.
and now they're just using him for his memories. That makes me think they're definitely the Templars, or just some kind of, the bad guys, pretty much, because that's not nice. And
Yep.
then I thought the Animus is completely different. It's like a claw that
Yeah.
like lifts
I
him up.
was. Yeah, I was weirded out by that.
Yeah,
Which
that I'm
I
not
feel
used to that.
I feel like their kind of motive with that was to make it, if they were just showed him in and they were like, here, lay down on this nice little table and we'll, that would have seemed like, okay, maybe these people aren't so bad, but now he has this claw that comes and traps him around his waist and lifts him up in the air and basically against his will sort of thing. I feel like that's kind of the angle they were going for with that.
Do we know?
Well, that's
some... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's the thing. The games didn't try to make the Templars look totally evil.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few cases where we see Templars in some of the games where they're not bad guys.
Mhm.
Or they're not horrible people. I mean, they still stay to the Templar side, but
Like in Unity.
yeah, like in Unity. But they're not evil. They just
Yeah.
kind of do what they believe is right.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're
And-
just evil in this one.
Maybe it's
I
just
don't know.
that was my question. Is this in the timeline before or after all of the Assassin's Creed events?
It would, with how the technology of the modern day stuff looks, I would have to say after.
So
Yeah.
my first
Sorry.
thought was it almost seemed more like militant, like they were using the Animus technology not just for research, not for some like behind the scenes Illuminati style quest to do whatever they're trying to do, but like there was actually a more aggressive purpose to it, and that's why they selected
Yeah.
this guy. Like, is it Desmond from Assassin's Creed 2 through
No.
4?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
no. I thought you said you were asking if it's the same
No,
guy.
no.
Okay,
I was trying
yeah,
to verify
Desmond
his name.
is.
Like he
Desmond.
was, if I remember correctly, he was a volunteer for the project.
Nope, he was kidnapped.
No, I'm okay. I think later on he was kidnapped, but initially he seemed very compliant. Like I'm trying to. It's been a while since I played that one, but
Mm-mm. He was kidnapped from the first game on.
He was.
okay then. My facts are not
Don't
straight.
don't go against Ezio over here. Okay, there's a reason his name is Ezio.
Yeah, I know the Assassin's Creed story.
He knows his Assassin's Creed.
You want me to go
stories.
deeper? He was a bartender who was kidnapped, and that's why he's in a freaking cell when he's in the Abstergo office. There you go.
Okay.
That
Well, I was just okay. Well, that shuts down that rabbit trail. I was just wondering if that could shed some light between the difference of the time as it was, and if there's something new going on, some kind of assassin
Yeah.
threat that
I
they're
mean-
trying to cope with.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Indeed.
As for the memories, I noticed he's fighting with another assassin who seems to be kind of his like companion. And is she a girl? I swear I saw an
Oh, yeah.
assassin.
I
that
think
looked
it
like
was a
chick.
girl.
They have
Ah,
multiple
yes.
assassins in it.
All right,
It's not
well,
just two.
whatever.
One
there
of them is
was
Samuel
there
L.
was
Jackson.
one girl where they
I'm kidding.
zoned in on her face, and you know she had the assassin hood and everything, and she looked somewhat important. It makes me wonder. It's during the Spanish Inquisition. It makes me wonder what the roles will be, the Templars and the Assassins in all of that. I'm guessing it's going to be the Templars are working with for the Spanish monarchs, whatever their names were, trying to kill everyone, and I'm guessing the Assassins will probably be on the other side. Or are all intermixed in between, who even knows?
Yep. At this right now, we're probably just gonna have to wait and see, and either wait for more new info or wait for the movie.
Well,
Yeah.
here's a food for thought kind of question. The last Assassin's Creed game I thought was 10 out of 10 was Black Flag. I enjoyed bits of Unity, and there's one. What was the one before Unity?
That was Black Flag.
Then what was the one after Unity?
Syndicate.
Syndicate. So I played both, and you know there were things I really liked about them, but the last one that I thought hit a home run was Black Flag, and the story was really really interesting, especially the further you got into it. But I'm trying to think of if they were to keep to that style of storytelling, which I really like, with the mystery, the mix between science and kind of like the religious realities that they're ascribing to, which is not any particular religion, but just that mix of mystical and scientific. How could they follow that same style in a live action movie and it not become cheesy?
Be hard.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm
they
not
will?
too-
I don't think so.
No, I mean with the camera effects that they've already been doing, I mean I don't see that happening. The
And
style
really,
that
the
they've already had.
historical setting is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
wouldn't really, open it up
Factor
for
into that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're back to we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yep.
The coolest thing I thought in that trailer, though, was like the last scene, maybe, where they span out and they have him on the tower and he does the jump off of it. I thought that was so freaking cool.
Yeah, the leap of
I was
faith.
just like, yeah.
You can't have anything Assassin's
Woo!
Creed without a leap of faith.
Oh, I know. When they first show him, up on that tower when it first enters the memory, and you see the eagle. I'm like, yes, they got the eagles.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
a
I
good
hope
sign.
they do some I wonder if it'll be like a completely new story, nothing related to the games, or if they'll have little call outs to
I
People
feel
who
like
play
there may be a call out or two at least.
like
Yeah.
maybe they'll mention Desmond or like something like that, and everyone will just be like, "Oh
I
my gosh!"
I do want to mention too, if anybody wants to check out the parkour or the free runner that is actually doing all these stunts, his name is Damian Walters. Very, very good at what he does. Just wanted to point that out.
Cool.
So, anything else on the Assassin's Creed movie?
Not till we see it.
Yep. So, the next point we have on our agenda is that on Overwatch, I'm actually not 100% on this. Gabe,
Yeah.
damn it, I
So-
said the name.
So my name is AP. Hey everybody. And
Honest.
Blizzard basically released a statement saying that they are going to give one-time offending permanent bans to anybody who uses, and this is quoting from IGN, hacks, bots, or third-party software. Now,
Which is PC, obviously. Like doing that on a PS4 or an Xbox One.
and the thing is, my first thought when I heard that was actually, my first response was negative. I'm like, that's really harsh. But when I actually looked at the terms, hacks, bots, and third-party software, these are things that fundamentally alter the game in order to gain an advantage over other people. Now, this is totally different from something like cheating in Destiny, knocking the Templar and Atheon off a cliff, lag switching Crota, where it's something that's inherent in the game that you're taking advantage of. This is actually going outside of the game to supplement or alter the game so that you can have an advantage over other players.
Can I give some technical background on it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so basically what they mean by this is any aimbots modifying any DLL or game files located within the installation files of the game itself. Because when you install a game on a computer, you have access to all the files of the game, which allows you to modify any aspect that you want, whether you can decrypt it or stuff like that. So essentially, if you're creating like an aimbot because I can already see this, people are going to make aimbots for Soldier 76. It's just I can already see it happening, and then it's going to just destroy, especially for his super or whatever they call them. But yeah, it's basically just modifying the game files and manipulating their files to kind of tend to your own, basically.
If you've ever seen somebody post a video on YouTube of somebody playing Call of Duty and they fly up into the sky, spin around in a circle, and headshot every player on the map and then fly back down to the ground, you will understand that hacking the game is not going to create a competitive, balanced environment for anyone.
And I do want to add too is you want to use a proper term would be mods, because hacking is defined differently, but it's modding. And to reference that would be called no-clip.
Yep.
And no-clip mods are angering because I remember back in the Call of Duty World at War days, somebody came out with one for the 360 where you modify the .dat file. It might have been .dat file, and people would be able to float under the maps and do that. And I can see that happening in this game if somebody figures out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you guys think that a one-time offending ban, permanent ban, is merited here?
Yeah, because I mean, Blizzard's always been really good with their review process for complaints and stuff like that. From what I've seen, is they're gonna have like video clips of the incidents and stuff recorded for when people are file these complaints and stuff like that, and they're not gonna just you get reported and then you're banned. They're actually gonna do some actual investigative work into it. I haven't played much World of Warcraft, but I heard they have a really good system that they use that for. So.
Well, I agree with you. I think it is 100% merited. I was worried at first because I thought it's like, what if my connection is so bad that I have an advantage and they're like, lag switcher, you're banned. No, please.
Yeah, as long as they actually look into it instead of just hitting, oh, they're being better than they probably should. Bam.
It's like, oh, this person has CenturyLink. Oh, this is still DSL. Okay, he's not banned. It's just lag.
Yeah, as long as they actually research it and everything, and they investigate to see if it's warranted, then I'm completely down with it.
Yeah, me too.
I actually like that they come out the gate with such a strong, definitive stance, and they make a statement like that because it may have been controversial on some level, but this is a game that has a lot of potential to actually be competitive, and it could be a game that's featured in esports. Once they get the balancing down, I feel that being this gung-ho, like, you will not hack this game without being penalized severely, I think that's a good thing for the future of the game.
I agree.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to say?
Honestly, no. I think we've said our piece.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple topic.
So,
Time for some news.
yep, we have some just small bits of news that some of these are just kind of small things, nothing too much to talk about. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the fact that Watch Dogs 2 was announced.
Wasn't
Anyone got
really
anything to...
wasn't really announced. They've confirmed it though.
Okay, it's been confirmed, not announced.
It's been confirmed, yeah, and they said that they're gonna. What's the exact quote on it? They're going to introduce a whole, basically to sum it up, like a whole revolutionized version of Watch Dogs that we didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
New,
I
a new,
wasn't
a new,
impressed with.
a new innovative tone, if you want to say.
I'll
So
look at it because the first one was kind of fun, but the first
the
one wasn't great.
the multiplayer was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So I mean, they said it has the potential to be their biggest launch yet. So, but they said that about the Division too. So we'll see.
Well, the Division was their biggest launch. It just didn't last long.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
So
We can hopefully expect to hear more at E3. Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully.
Oh, E3.
So another thing is that the Far Harbor DLC for Fallout 4 got an announcement trailer, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting. It's got a new faction, so that's pretty cool. The Church of the Children of Adam, I think it is.
Yep, that's it.
So yeah, seems pretty cool. We've got new armor and weapons from what I saw, and
we've gotten a bunch of new stuff,
new enemies and stuff.
I would not doubt that we've gotten a new companion or two.
Oh yeah, they said so they said it's their biggest map yet to date, but it doesn't contain as much content as the previous DLC. So bigger map, less DLC or less missions and stuff like that. Yeah, less stuff to do. I think there's like
okay. I'll have to try it out.
5 quests or something like that.
That's not terrible.
No, it's not horrible. They said it was going to be around like 16 hours worth of gameplay.
That's not bad. There's games that have DLC with much less times of content.
They have games that the entire game itself has less content than
that. Exactly.
Maybe it was 16 hours. I'm not entirely sure. Don't take my word on it, but that's what I read.
It's fine. It's fine. It's a Bethesda Fallout DLC. It's going to have quite a bit of content.
Yeah, I'm really waiting for the one that they have Rhode Island in it. So my biggie.
So we have one more bit of news, and that is, and it pains me that none of you guys know what this is, and probably almost none of our viewers probably know what this is, and that is that Persona 5 got a new trailer and a Japanese release date.
That was the weirdest trailer I've ever watched, dude. Not lying. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. It looks interesting, but definitely not something for me to buy. I couldn't understand it. It's all in Japanese, so I had to go to YouTube.
I watched an English subbed one, so.
Yeah, well, I did that too. I had to go into it and then manually adjust because I clicked the subtitles and then it started showing up in Japanese. I was like, I don't know what this reads. Switch to English. Go to English. I couldn't. I had to freaking go in the drop down and select English. I was like, why didn't you just
see? This is just one of those games. I'm just gonna have to hijack the podcast one episode and just rant and talk about it.
And that'll be the episode that Ezio is no longer on the podcast.
And that'll be the episode. that'll be an episode I bring a pillow to. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just gonna every time you talk about that game in the future, I'm just gonna replace it with an audio recording of crap.
I wouldn't
just
doubt
on repeat. No, I'm kidding.
But
we're not trying to diss the Japanese gaming community, and that's actually probably something really big. It's just not something that we are well versed in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I personally am a big fan of it. Well, the first 2 games weren't great in my opinion, but the recent 2 ones, 3 and 4, were really good. So I'm really looking forward to this next one, and I've been looking forward to it for a while.
I think that's pretty much the last thing that we said was a good place we can wrap up.
I was actually gonna.
Oh, it's okay. If you got one more thing,
what I was gonna do was because earlier we were talking about the Dark Souls thing. I was actually briefly thinking I should have mentioned this earlier. Is since you've gone from not having played it and only seen parts of it to actually delving into it, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to have you talk briefly about what you thought.
I can do that.
Okay, yeah, I just thought that'd be an interesting thing since we have that info now,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're not too much over time, so
No,
I
we're doing fine.
thought maybe. Okay, so let's do that real fast. Let's do the 5 seconds, and I'll
Oh no,
bring it up.
we're already like this is. We can just jump into it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay then.
Tell me, man, I'm a wizard. So,
All right.
so to answer your question, or to follow up your request, well, specifically, do you want me to tell you like briefly my experience of the game as a whole, or do you want me to focus on specific aspects of the game?
Um, just in general, how your thoughts of it have changed and your experiences, I guess.
Okay. Well, my preconceived notions about it were that it was going to be murderously difficult from the get-go and just kind of throw you in, kind of like from what I hear about Bloodborne. It does that, which I haven't played, but I've heard about it. With this, I was actually really pleasantly surprised and impressed. In the first kind of introductory mission, it very gently walks you through each step of getting acclimated to the controls. How to attack, how to block, how to dodge, how to parry, how to use different abilities, things like that. And then it kind of introduces you to that holy crap, I'm about to die aspect of the game. So you've learned all these little tools, and you hear this stomping that's shaking the ground and is reverberating through my Astra A40s, and I'm starting to feel that twinge of terror. And I open the door, and it closes behind me, and there's this behemoth in front of me with a massive, like, 3-ton mace thing. It's just a giant club, and basically the instructions are, escape, get out. I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to figure out, and I'm like, okay, I learned how to dodge. Oh no, I'm running out of endurance and stamina. Okay, just move, just don't let him hit me. And there's pots all over the room, and he's smashing it, and he's hitting me, and I'm using my heals that I just learned how to use, and I'm desperately trying to just not die. And then I see a door on the opposite end of the room, like, okay, I try and get around him, and I finally make it to the door. Door's locked. No! Okay, what do I do now? And I'm still trying to dodge and evade, and I finally realize on the corner of the room there's another door that's already open. Okay, go for the door. And I get through, and I barely make it out alive. My heart is pounding, and I'm like, holy crap. That was terrifying and awesome. Now
that's just the
I know.
tutorial boss.
Oh, I know. And here's the thing, you don't even fight it. I mean, you can try. Wouldn't go very well.
Because you only have a broken straight sword.
Yeah. But what it did is it introduces you to several elements of the game that are consistent throughout. There's mind-numbing terror. There's something very large and terrifying that has its own unique mechanics that you have to figure out and then adjust your playstyle to overcome it. And then it allowed you to learn those things and then leave. Then you go through a little dungeon thing, and you go around and learn some more stuff, and then it allows you to actually come back and fight him. And it also gives you the opportunity to test a new move where you drop down and attack him from the head and does a buttload of damage.
Yep, the plunging attack.
So I think it's safe to say you both need an intervention now and not just Ezio.
No, man. No, look. No, it's good. I can quit any time. I just don't want to. You should come over and play some Dark Souls with me sometime.
That's what they all say, yeah.
I can quit any time.
Hey, AP, just make sure you're at that building that we discussed earlier at 3 p.m. It's just gonna be you and I, okay?
Hey man, I was gonna go. I forgot I had made plans with Ezio to play some Dark Souls later today, so I can't make it.
I already canceled those. Don't worry. On second thought, let me call him and invite him too. Now that I think of it.
To summarize briefly, the game is not as punishing for dying as I thought it would be. It is punishing in some aspects, but it's the kind of game where you can die as many times as you want and just keep coming back and move forward. The fighting is very rewarding when you learn how to do it. I recommend it to everybody.
I'm gonna say just one last thing. I cannot wait for you to get to Ornstein and Smog.
You know what, bro? I still gotta kill those freaking gargoyles.
If you think that 2-on-1 fight is something, wait till you get to Ornstein and Smog.
Well, I've only challenged them once, so we'll see how it goes. But
yeah,
I am officially, once I beat this, I am going to buy Dark Souls 3 on the PlayStation and play it with you. Oh,
yay!
One thing, and this, I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but You know what? No, you know what? We can talk about that in private. I just have some questions for you. You can data.
All right,
dump.
yeah, we can talk about that later.
So, all right. I think that's it for today, guys. This has been the
All right.
8th episode of the Super Fun Podcast. It has been, as always, a super fun time. Thank you, Queen Toast, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Ezio and Groot, for being my wonderful co-hosts once again.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's all, folks.
Oh, I thought you were going to sing the Infinite Warfare song you had planned for us.
Oh, Infinite Warfare. How much I really hate you and your movements. I really just want you to be the #1 most disliked video on YouTube. And then drown in a hole.
And that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
So, if you want to find us, we're on Twitter at SuperFunPeople. We got our Ballin website, which you should come check out and sign up for, because that way you can hang out with us and be a part of some of the events we're planning. And that's at thesuperfunpeople.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
And don't worry, we'll have it in the description this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm also going to retroactively add it to all the other descriptions. So yeah, thank you for joining us. It's been an awesome time, and we will see you guys next week. Yay.
Hey.
Jeez.